This is a really special place for me. I came here as a child, walked my first dog here. We used to walk along the cliffs, and I've known it as a local person. I was born in Dover, and I've lived here all my life. I'm really proud to work here at the White Cliffs of Dover. I mean, apart from its natural beauty, the Trust opens it to the public. I think we take for granted public places and the fact they're open for us all to enjoy, but it could so easily be taken away if we weren't able to look after it.
Scotney is amazing at any angle that you look at it. It's a picturesque garden, and it's almost like the last fling of the picturesque. And everywhere you walk, there's a vista which frames a picture of the old castle, of the new house, of the estate. There's these very cleverly planted and deliberate vistas that William Gilpin, who actually designed this garden, did.
There is nowhere else like Sissinghurst. For me, it brings together a love of literature, a love of place, a love of poetry, a love of people, you know, the interesting people that created Sissinghurst and what it is today, as well as the many people that visit. You know, every day you're here, you meet an artist or someone whose father came here a lot, that it meant something to someone. And I think this is the thing about Sissinghurst. It's a true heterotopia, you know, it means different things to different people.
I think the visit to Chartwell is a very special one because you come here with this sort of image of Churchill in your mind, and I think you're normally blown away by what you see because it's very different. It's not a stuffy formal garden. I mean, it's very beautiful. We've got over 1,100 different roses, we've got croquet lawns, water features, kitchen gardens, but the one thing you take away is that you can really imagine bringing a family up here, and I think visitors really get that.
I think Kent's proximity to London, the fact it's a conduit between Europe and the rest of the country, has always made it such an interesting place. People choose to live here, people travel through. Great stories about Charles II coming to Dover during the resurrection of the monarchy. This was frontline Britain in the Second World War, but also people travelling up through the county, and Churchill having his house just outside London as well. It just shows how important Kent was and how many rare and really interesting and beautiful places we have.
Here at Scotney Castle we have a hop farm, and it's one of the only working hop farms left in Kent. You know, Kent used to be the centre of the hopping industry, and what we're doing here is keeping something alive, you know, for future generations. And we have, you know, such an important role to play in that.
I think the presence in Kent is actually particularly striking. Maybe I just say that because I live here, maybe it's because of my job, but I see evidence of what we do everywhere, and it's on the coast, it's in the woodland, it's in property, and it's in the countryside. I find it incredibly impressive, and it's genuinely why it's so great to be part of the organisation.
Kent's very important for National Trust because you've got this proximity to London, and I mean, I moved up from Cornwall, and when I was thinking of accepting this job, I was like, oh my God, it's so close to London, you know, I can't handle that. And then you come here and you're just blown away by how rural it is and how beautiful it is.
I don't think you do appreciate, until you're part of the organisation, the breadth and depth of what the Trust actually does, and how altruistic it truly is to its principles. You know, these are not tokenistic, they're not sound bites to talk about conservation and preserving forever for everyone. It's absolutely what we do. It just keeps these precious things in such a way that they can be shared forever. And, you know, being a mum as well, making sure that my kids are going to be able to enjoy this to the same kind of standard and with the same level of accessibility.
I think when I visit other National Trust properties, I'm proud, even if I'm admiring a fantastic garden that's nothing to do with me, I take that pride with me. And every time you drive past, sort of, you see the oak leaf on any of the signs, you know, the pride goes with you.
Not only do I work at Scotney Castle, but I live here, my family lives here, and for the last 5.5 years I feel like I've become a guardian for Scotney, and I have, for that moment in time, become a small part of its history.
For me, I think a lot of our need for investment in small, medium and large projects is so that we can remain true to our principles that are soundly and rightly based in conservation.
Well, at the moment we're trying to raise £1.2 million to buy another section of the cliffs. It's really the missing link between our visitor centre here at Langdon Cliffs and South Fornan Lighthouse just down the coast. That section is really crucial to us. It'll allow us to have a continuous footpath all the way to the lighthouse, improve conservation value because we can increase the amount of area we look after and benefit for conservation, and sort of create a sort of conservation highway really, where plants and animals can thrive and can prosper away from sort of farming and intensive agriculture.